What's going on, Soul Tribe? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and bring you another little nugget to add to the Soul Tribe archive. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the North Node in Aquarius in the 6th house. This is an interesting, kind of a tricky one for the North Node. Now, when you talk about the nodes, really, the North Node is, you'll hear referred to as the, or you may also hear referred to as the Dragon's Head or as Rahu, and it's always opposite the South Node, which is the Dragon's Tail or K2. And when you think about the South Node, or how I like to think about it, it's past energy. This is where you go to call upon wisdom, where you can get insights from. This is a comfort zone. It can be, in a sense. We can get stuck in the South Node sometimes, but it's meant to be something utilized for you to, a place for you to call upon wisdom so you can go somewhere. Be in. That's the North Node. The North Node, I like to think of it as an area, whatever house it falls in, these themes of that house is something that you're trying to get mastery over. It's uncharted territory. It can be a little uncomfortable sometimes. So, but it leads to really tremendous growth with the nodes. Really big changes in your life. So, something to just kind of, they're the eclipse points. So, definitely some very useful information that you can get from them. And then when you're talking about Aquarius, now they're ruled by Saturn, and they are the fixed air sign. They're active or yang in nature, and I like Aquarius as the visionaries, but it's when you think about it in the terms of Saturn. Saturn gives, upon being about discipline, responsibility, Saturn gives things form. And that's where I like with Aquarius. If they can hold it in their head, they can hold it in their hand. And that's where you get this very innovative ideas and things along those lines. There's a strong mind with Aquarius, that level of focus that can be achieved with the Aquarian energy. Because that air is about the mental, the communication. And I mean, if you think about that, the air, that communication with source, that's something where you can work with that. There's a lot of spiritual energy that comes with Saturn. That's not really talked about. Saturn's a very spiritual planet, and I like to even think as Aquarius having that social aspect to them. They really do bring people together of all walks of life. You'll see the group that an Aquarius will hang around, and I mean it's just the hodgepodge of people. But that's the beauty of Aquarius. They can find the grand vision in everyone and pull the great work and pull everyone together. It's a really cool energy. And then you talk about the 6th house. Now, the 6th house in traditional astrology is known as the house of bad fortune. And some of the things that this house covers are like misfortunes, troubles. It can be bad luck. They can be about illnesses or disease. This can be accidents, injuries, servitude. This can be about jobs. This can even deal with like military service, or this can deal with enemies, or this can even be like, and this is a random one, but it's just like small pets. Small pets is like, more specifically like service animals in particular, but just small pets in general. But when you talk about this combination, some things to think about. One, you'd have a Virgo rising by whole sign, but you're going to want to look to Saturn, because Saturn's going to be in charge of this house in your house of creativity, your 5th house, creativity, good fortune. So it's an interesting combination that Saturn rules both your good fortune and your bad fortune. So that's really something interesting so you really want to have a good relationship with Saturn. But one thing that I would talk about this, and anyone who has this, I have this access. I have it in Capricorn and in South Node and in Cancer, but I have this access, and this nodal axis I do find where it can be tough, yeah, but it's not that you're destined for misfortune. Everyone goes through 6th house themes, 8th house themes, 12th house themes, and if it's not your things that you're dealing with, it'll be the things that you're helping other people get through. I do find that this is a service axis, or at least it can be. It could be one where, especially with Aquarius, I think as your North Node, this could be someone who can help people get stuck out of their head. Because I think with this axis for Aquarius and Leo, where there's a will, there's a way. And that's where it would kind of call to, how do you will yourself when you maybe get stuck in a bit of bad fortune, miss things, maybe if you're sick or if you've ever had an injury or things like that. How do you keep that mental fortitude where it's like, yeah, this maybe stinks right now, but things will be fine. I will get over this. And what are some ways that you keep yourself fueled up so that you can keep that mind focused on the grander things? Like, okay, this may slow me down a little bit, but you know what? This accident happened. Maybe I got sick because I was working too hard. Maybe that I haven't been able to give the mind a break and things like that. But I do find that, or at least I would think with this placement, that this could be someone who could, again, can be come up with some innovative ideas to help other people get through their things. Maybe you come up with some sort of routine, some sort of regimen. I mean, Virgo rising, come on. You could come up, the Virgo rising is the problem solvers. So this could be one where you come up with some amazing, just some kind of innovative way that you get recognized for, for how you turn maybe what looks like bad fortune into good fortune. That's a gift. So this is something like an axis where you can get a lot from this as well. But I could see this as, someone, maybe you do happen to do something with the military. Maybe you have maybe a family with a military background, and maybe that's something you go for. And, this could be someone who has a real strong mind, maybe really strategic. That could be something that could be, and not just in military, but just in life in general. I would be mindful about maybe, because I would think someone with maybe such a strong will would come across people where you're gonna bump heads with some people, or you may meet some dissonance, and it's like, how do you rise above that? Where it's just like, this isn't. You meet them where they're at, but that you don't have to dip to where they're at. You acknowledge where they're at. So that would be just another thing that I would talk about with this house here. There may be some times where if you ever feel just like really trapped or really constricted, maybe this is a job that you find yourself stuck in, and it's just like, how do you keep yourself going through, like, okay, I'm doing all of this work because I'm trying to get to this thing, as opposed to like where it's just like, oh, this thing is too hard, I'm gonna dip out, because that fixed energy. What I would think was really cool with this axis is that fixed energy has tenacity, has perseverance, can get through these things. So this is something where you learn to overcome these scenarios in life where they don't stop happening. They become easier to deal with because you become more equipped with them. You become up with some innovative ideas to deal with it. Get creative. Saturn rules that creativity spot as well, so get creative. Think about what are some ways, and it doesn't have to be something artistic, just something that you're just a natural at. Maybe you do like talk therapy, whatever that may look like for you. But those are just some rough examples that I would talk about, some things I would talk about with a person with this placement. But if you have this or know someone who's working with this placement, down in the comment section, let's hear about it. I'd love to talk more about this. And if you want to explore this placement in your chart more thoroughly, maybe just talk about some things that you hadn't thought about before, maybe working with your solar return, your lunar return, whatever that's looking like for you. In the description box, there's a link for my email to get in touch with me, and I just will discuss all the services that I provide and then go from there. And then if you want to just kind of follow the transits and see what's going on there, actually the nodes will be in about a little over a year and a half or so. The nodes will be moving into Aquarius and Leo. I got some thoughts about that. I got a lot of Leo placements, so we'll see what that's looking like. But that is something to be looking forward to. So get creative. Be thinking about how you're going to tackle that in this sixth house themes. So, but yeah, if you want to follow that, the transits and things, that's on this channel as well, Celestial News Weekly. And then if you want to work with the moon, because these are the lunar nodes, if you want to work with the moon, down in the description box is a link for my other channel, The Chariot and Friends, where I do videos whenever the moon changes signs, and I talk about what phase she's in and when she's going void course. And she's actually going void course here soon, depending on when you're watching this. So actually today, I think, when this is coming out there, so check that out. But until next time, stay mindful out there, keep raising that vibration through the roof, and I will catch you on the next one later.